On June 10th, 2026, one of the biggest bets in medical technology history just closed. Danaher Corporation, a $170 billion life sciences giant, walked away with a small medical device company called Masimo for $9.9 billion in cash. That's nearly $10 billion for a company most people have never heard of. But hospitals know Masimo very well. If you've ever been in a hospital bed with a glowing clip on your finger, that was probably Masimo. Masimo makes pulse oximeters, those little sensors that measure your blood oxygen levels in real time. They became household names during COVID, but they've been the gold standard in hospitals for decades. So why is Danaher paying nearly $10 billion for a company that makes finger clips? Because those finger clips are getting smarter. Masimo's devices now use AI to predict when patients might crash before it happens. This deal was announced back in February 2026, and Masimo's stock exploded overnight, up 34% in a single day, from around $130 to $175 a share. Shareholders knew they were getting a premium exit. Danaher offered $180 per share in cash. No stock, no contingencies, just cold hard cash. For Masimo shareholders, it was an instant payday. But for Danaher, it was a massive gamble. Here's the bet Danaher is making. The future of hospital care isn't just about treating patients when they're sick. It's about predicting problems before they become emergencies. That's where AI comes in. Masimo sensors don't just measure oxygen levels. They monitor dozens of vital signs continuously, and their AI algorithms can detect patterns that human doctors might miss. A patient's heart rate dips slightly, their breathing changes just a bit, the AI notices. In acute care settings, ICUs, emergency rooms, post-surgery recovery, every second counts. If you can predict a patient is about to crash 10 minutes before it happens, you can save lives. And you can save hospitals millions in emergency interventions. Danaher already owns some of the biggest names in hospital diagnostics: Beckman Coulter, Cepheid, Radiometer. They make the machines that analyze your blood, detect infections, and run lab tests. But they didn't have real-time patient monitoring. Now they do. By combining Masimo's sensors with their existing diagnostics platforms, Danaher can offer hospitals a complete picture: lab results, real-time monitoring, and AI predictions all in one system. And here's where the numbers get interesting. Danaher expects Masimo to generate over $530 million in EBITDA by 2027. That's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, basically operating profit. They also expect to cut $125 million in annual costs by combining operations: shared warehouses, merged sales teams, consolidated manufacturing, plus another $50 million in revenue synergies by cross-selling Masimo products to Danaher's existing hospital customers. So within 5 years, Danaher expects this deal to add 70 cents per share to their earnings. That might not sound like much, but for a company trading at over $250 a share, that's real money. But there's risk here. Danaher paid $9.9 billion, and they're funding it with cash on hand plus billions in new debt. If hospitals don't adopt AI monitoring as fast as Danaher thinks, or if reimbursement rates change, this deal could weigh on their balance sheet for years. There's also competition. Companies like Philips, GE Healthcare, and Medtronic all make patient monitoring systems. Masimo was independent and could sell to anyone. Now, they're part of Danaher, and some hospitals might not want to lock into one vendor. But Danaher didn't become a $170 billion company by playing it safe. They've spent decades acquiring smaller innovators, integrating them into their portfolio, and scaling them globally. It's their playbook. And the timing makes sense. Hospitals are under massive pressure to reduce costs and improve outcomes. AI monitoring that prevents complications could save hospitals thousands per patient. That's a pitch that sells. Meanwhile, regulatory tailwinds are building. The FDA has been greenlighting AI-enabled medical devices faster than ever. Masimo already has clearance for their AI algorithms, which means Danaher can start selling immediately. Masimo CEO Joe Kiani founded the company in 1989 and built it into a household name in hospitals. Under the deal, Masimo becomes a standalone brand within Danaher's diagnostics division. They keep their name, their culture, and their mission. But they also get Danaher's global reach. Masimo was strong in the US and Europe, but less so in Asia and emerging markets. Danaher operates in over 60 countries. That's instant distribution. For investors, the question is simple. Is AI-powered patient monitoring the next big thing in healthcare, or is it overhyped? Danaher is betting $9.9 billion that it's the former. And if they're right, this deal could reshape hospital care for the next decade. Imagine a future where every hospital bed has continuous AI monitoring, where emergencies are predicted before they happen, and where doctors get alerts on their phones seconds after an algorithm detects trouble. That's the vision Danaher just paid $10 billion for. The deal closed on June 10, 2026. Masimo stock stopped trading on NASDAQ, and shareholders walked away with $180 per share in cash. Danaher now owns one of the most recognized names in patient monitoring. They've added AI capabilities to their diagnostics empire, and they've made a statement. The future of hospital care is predictive, not reactive. Whether this turns out to be a brilliant strategic move or an expensive bet on improving technology, we'll know in a few years. But one thing is clear. The race to build the AI-powered hospital is on. Wall Street analysts are watching closely. Some say Danaher overpaid. Others say they got in early on a trend that's just beginning. Time will tell. For now, Danaher has made its move. $9.9 billion in cash, all in, for a company that makes sensors no bigger than your thumb. But those sensors might just change how hospitals save lives. If you found this story interesting, hit subscribe. We cover the biggest money moves in business and finance every week. See you in the next one.